I think I'm saying that we struggle all our lives to answer it. That it's the struggle that is important. That's what helps us to define our place in the universe.
This is Beverly, Dr. Beverly, Dr. Beverly Crusher.
Look where we are. Here, all of us, in this moment. So let's do what we spent our entire lives learning to be great at.
And this is Crusher Convo.
And welcome to Crusher Convo, where we're crushing the conversation one episode at a time. Welcome to the 4th anniversary of Crusher Convo. And today we're celebrating not only 4 incredible years of the podcast, but also 60 years of Star Trek. And there's no one I'd rather celebrate with than 2 of the biggest Trek geeks around. Welcome, Bill and Dan from Trek Geeks Podcast. Hey, guys.
Oh, us.
Hey. Woo. What? Who? Yeah.
Us?
I gotta say, Bill, you were doing some moves there with the intro.
Maybe I was.
I loved
You have no proof of that, though.
I don't. Just it's burned in my memory. So people just, take just believe me of what but you're not the only one. I always see people are just like a little head bouncing, like they're just kind of like
We had a little rave going on,
Yeah, actually Robbie Duncan McNeil was like, that was kind of fun. I was like, thanks. Appreciate it. I do have a couple people in the chat. Crusher Convo is the best. Well, I thank you. And Burley Beer, howdy. Hello. All right, guys. So before we actually jump right in, I'm going to go ahead and talk about our sponsor. All right, guys. So Cherry Tree and Fan Sets. Use this code CrusherConvo6 to get 6% off your order at mycherrytree.com. And then, of course, if you go over to Fan Sets, because their little pins and stuff are full of character, use the code TrekGeeks to get 10% off your order at fansets.com. And, of course, follow them on the socials at mycherrytree Incorporated and Fansets. Want to do that real fast. All right, guys. So very hard question. My question this season has been to celebrate of the 60th anniversary. And that is, what female character do you find inspiring?
I'll let Dan go first. I can't hear you, Dan. You're still on mute.
Why is this not working? There we go.
There we go.
Better?
Yeah.
See, we have a problem before the studio starts kicking it off, and then after,
that was me.
Keiko O'Brien. No, I'm just kidding. That's not my favorite character.
What a jerk.
I was okay. I mean,
it's a great question, Jesse, and I actually did put quite a bit of thought into this. It's an important question because the female characters on these shows have become such an important part of our everyday with what we're doing. And I got to say, this might be surprise Bill, I'm thinking it, but my favorite female character right now is Lieutenant Ortegas from Strange New Worlds.
What?
She's hands down to me. She's one of the best parts of the show because she's badass. She's got swagger, and she's balanced that with raw vulnerability, I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, she's a fighter. She's a veteran. And she doesn't just bounce back from trauma, which we saw specifically last season. The show leans into her psychological scars, the capture by the Gorn in particular. And during last season, she convinces herself that she's totally fine and ready for duty. And then she outright goes against orders by number 1, disobeys him. And you can see that she's got issues. Her humor is great on the bridge, but it's not just for laughs in my mind. It's kind of a mask when she's having these problems. And watching her falter and misjudge her own recovery and use that to fuel her path forward really makes me feel that she's one of the most complex and complete characters in Strange New Worlds right now. And I absolutely love that. But on top of all that, for the character aspect, it hits even more for me because of the real life strength that Melissa has. right as season 1 was wrapping up. As everybody who watches the show knows, she lost her partner of 7 years to an aggressive form of leukemia. He helped her audition for the show, and then she had to step back onto that set for season 2 while everything had just happened. And she's openly said that she and Ortegas became more alike than she ever wanted to, because she was fighting this massive internal battle just like Ortegas was. So it all ties together. And I think that really makes it an extremely strong character. And the fact that she's a female character with this incredible strength makes me love it even that much more.
I'm blown away. That's the best answer
I
you've ever
love
given to
it.
anything.
And now, as a Latina myself, I mean, I think Ortegas is, showcasing that side that I can, like I feel represented in that aspect. I'm half Mexican. I'm also a quarter Spanish. And so, seeing her there, it just she reminds me of a cousin or, some kind of family member. And I'm just like, I love that humor. And like you said, she has like that sarcasm, that wit, but it's like not too serious, but it's just perfect where it's just like balances, whatever they're going through in that moment. And then she has a funny side, but then, yeah, like you said, she does deal with, situations a little differently, and she struggles, but she tries to put on a mask. And Melissa is also amazing as well. So I love that answer. You are the first Ortegas to bring that up this year.
And he's a damn fine pilot, I might add, as well.
She flies the ship.
Sure is.
He
She
does,
flies
yes.
the
He
ship.
flies the ship.
Absolutely. Now, Bill, I don't know if you could, compete with that answer, but let's see if you could try. Let's go for it.
Finally.
I can't even. There's no way I can possibly compete with that. I'm gonna pick Catherine Pulaski. No, just kidding.
So, guys, thank you so much. Bill has to leave, unfortunately. So, me and Dan will be handling this episode today.
No,
No
I've gone
Pulaski
back.
hate here, I swear.
No, I know. I've gone back and forth on this a couple of times, and that's because I'm kind of two opinions about it. There's one particular character I love because of her strength, because she was a very different kind of character that we've seen in Star Trek up until that point. And there's another one that is just so poised and so wise. So the one that wins out is Major Kira from Deep Space Nine. Up until that point when Deep Space Nine premiered, largely all of the female characters we saw provided a support function. Uhura, did the communication. She essentially answered the phone. There were doctors, there were therapists, there were, you name it. And most of them served a caregiving role to some extent. And then we get Major Kira in Deep Space Nine, and she's a former freedom fighter, right? She's used to trying to take back, Bajor for Bajorans. And, it puts her in the unenviable task of now having to deal with Starfleet coming in and, are they invading or, what do we have to deal here? And to try to kind of make that kind of harmonious. So I've always appreciated Kira because what she thinks on any given day, where she is mentally, and she's tough as nails. So I think that's why I pick Major Kira. My runner-up was Dax. So both from Deep Space Nine, Dax is just so poised and so knowledgeable and, 7 lifetimes worth of experience and all of that. But Major Kira to me was really a different kind of character at the time. And I think for that, it edges Dax out just slightly.
I love it. Actually,
Two
Dax is
DS9
one of my
ladies.
favorite. Yeah. Dax is one of my favorites. So like after Beverly, I think Jadzia kind of hits all the marks of everything that I love about Star Trek. And she just, I don't know, there was just something about her that I found her funny, and the relationship she had with Cisco. Loved their friendship. The fact that he called her old man and just I loved that between them. Hated how it ended.
Yes.
Did not like that at all when I was watching this. I was like, this sucks.
Still breaks my heart.
I hate it. Don't, but love Terry. I think she's absolutely amazing. But what's great about Star Trek, and that's why I kind of asked this question this season, is just, they do show representation in all forms, but we've had so many amazing female characters that, sometimes you wouldn't think about as a pilot or as the nurse or the doctor, or even just as the first officer, going from something tragic like Kira was going through, becoming the first officer, so love all those stories. Now, I still believe that 7 of 9 has the best character arc throughout Star Trek, just from where she started and where she landed. Like, I think absolutely. And it's just, she's an amazing female character.
I have a question on that, Jesse.
Okay.
Would you have said that she has the best character arc prior to Picard season 3, or that really solidified that arc for you?
It's solidified.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, I liked where they were going with the character. And fun fact, I saw Picard first. So I saw the 7 first Picard version before I saw Voyager. So I went backwards and I was all like, oh man, she's gone through a lot. She's trying to find her way, all this stuff. This is great. But the fact that it landed of her being the captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Like, I just was like, hello, like, and then, of course, clearly they just want to give, former Borgs the Enterprise. That's clearly a theme here. I mean, might as well keep with tradition. All right. So I think, but still, just everything that she went through with as a child, being on the Raven, and then her being a Borg for so long, and then going through all that on the Voyager. And she even said in Picard, right? Like, Voyager was her home. Like, that's where she was reborn. And so that really showcased what I felt like 7 was. And so, yeah. And I think it was interesting. I'm kind of glad that I did see it backwards, because I don't know if I would have felt as strongly about 7 if I would have seen her first in Voyager. I just would have been like, oh, okay, whatever. But because I see where she was going, I paid more attention to like little details than I probably wouldn't have if I saw her in Voyager first. So yeah, amazing characters on Star Trek, and that's why we are going to be celebrating 60 years of it. So going into the chat real fast. Now, Burly Bear says, Dan's a character. Does he count?
Oh, female character inspiring. Shut your mouth, Bill.
She knew what she was talking about.
Absolutely. And of course, hello, Jesse and everyone. Jesse's favorite Canadian from Under the Cloak of War. Absolutely. Hello, David. How are you? And then we have John. It's a good reminder that Star Trek opens its arms to not only fans, but its characters as well.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Amen.
Absolutely. And we also have Captain Quadrant and Chuck. Hey, Chuck, we'll all see you at STLV next week. Love it, love it, love it. Now, John has been a guest, and he had was Philippa Georgiou.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, which I was like, that's great, because I hadn't had that answer. So I was very excited. But anyways,
you know what's
guys,
interesting about that, Jesse? I love the fact that somebody can pick a character that really was not in a lot of Star Trek, but still find that character to be inspiring. I think that's pretty great, and shows you the power of the character and the actress. So yeah,
by far.
Absolutely. And you want more from that character. And I mean, I've only just barely started Discovery, but I saw the first 2 episodes and I know how it ends. At least for that version of her. And I also saw Section 31 backwards. Like, I'm all over the place, guys. But fine. I'm sorry. Spoilers is not a thing for me. So, but as Chuck said, what's happening at STLV? It is next week. I'm arriving, I believe, on Tuesday. So I want to kind of pass the mic, the torch to you guys, and let us know all the fun stuff that you guys have planned.
Well, Dan, I think the theme for Dan and I at STLV is that we're always pretty much overcommitted. Yeah. We go into it with plans to do nothing.
Yeah.
And our dance card fills up fairly quickly. And it's it's not because we're trying not to do things, but there's only so many days. And now, there are so many events, and you have to miss some. It's unfortunate, but I get there Monday, so you guys will be lucky if the Rio is still standing by the time you get there. I come in Monday at noon. Dan, you fly in Tuesday.
Tuesday, late morning, I will be arriving. Yes.
Late morning. We will be in the vendors hall this year, but there is a dizzying array of talent, Dan, at this year's STLV.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how they do it every year. For those of you watching, now at 9:00 on the Trek Geeks Thursday Night Geeks, we're going to be talking live to Anne-Marie Siegel from Creation Entertainment. Jesse will be with us, so we're gonna keep the Vegas train going. But the one thing I did hear this week, Dan, that I was really kind of bummed by is that Walter Koenig isn't able to do Vegas this year, and I'm really bummed about that because he had to cancel on Trek Talks earlier this year because of health.
I'm not feeling good about this. I'm going to be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
I saw that announcement. There was another one that he had to cancel a few months ago, or a few weeks ago. And then, of course, Trek Talks at the beginning of the year. I'm very concerned because he is not a young man. He stopped by our vendor table last year on Sunday as the convention was wrapping up to say hi, which was incredible. And I was not only was I blown away just by the fact that he came over to say hi, but I also was very concerned because he looked very frail. I'm hoping that everything is fine. I'm hoping he's going to be okay, but I was very bummed to see that. I was also bummed. I saw it, and I think it was for STLV, but did Melissa have to cancel as well? We were just talking about Ortegas. I saw something about her not being able to go somewhere, and I don't know if it was STLV or a different con. So I just wanted to.
She did have to cancel. She just canceled a couple of days ago.
Yes, I think it was yes. Yeah, that's too bad. So
Okay.
Oh well. Yeah, that's a bummer.
If I look at who they've added, they're sitting right now at 198 special guests. They've recently added Robert Beltran from Star Trek Voyager, Jerry Ryan from Voyager and Picard, Jonathan Delarco, and composer Cliff Idleman, which is fantastic. Cliff is a great guest and obviously a fantastic musician. But, this is 200, almost 200 guests. They're certain to add more, quite frankly, because it's not even convention week yet, so they have time.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they consistently do it every single year. It kind of boggles the mind. But so far on the cancellation list are Walter Koenig, Melissa Navia, Tricia Helfer from Battlestar Galactica, which is a bummer, Cole Meany, F. Murray Abraham from Star Trek Insurrection, Jennifer Morrison from House, and also Star Trek 2009, Peyton List, who was Narissa on Star Trek Picard, Victor Brandt, who was Tongo Rad in the original series, Michael Forrest, who is just a dear guy, and we love him, Joanna Miles, who was Perrin from Next Gen, Michael Dante, who was Ma'ab in Friday's Child. I had to think about that for a minute, man. Hannah Hate.
I have faith in you.
A lot of the O'Briens ended up canceling.
I know, right? Bobby Clark won't be there. This is Dan, I've been going to Vegas now for 15 years at least. Bobby Clark has been there every single year, usually right next to us in the vendor hall.
Right. Yep.
He won't be there this year, and I'm bummed.
That's too bad. That is really bad. It's funny because he has been next to us every year. We've been in the vendors room, and I'll tell you what, it took me a while for me to go over and talk to him because he's, I don't want to bother him type of thing. I still have that stupid attitude about Star Trek stands, but I did go over. He and his wife are the nicest people.
They really are
so great to talk to, and he loves it when people come over and bring him new Gorn stuff to sign. And it's too bad that he's not going to be there. That's a shame. Dan,
I know you're bummed by this, but Keiko O'Brien will not be in attendance at STLV this year.
Like I said,
as much as you like Rosalind Chow, you do not like Keiko O'Brien. I just want to make
that is absolutely correct. Yes, Rosalind, awesome. Keiko, not awesome.
Not so much. But Cole also canceled last year, right? Because wasn't he?
He did.
He's such a busy man.
That's it. He has the virtue of being a very in demand working actor still, and I think that's fantastic for him. It sucks for us as a fandom.
It sucks for us, but good for him. Good job, Cole.
I'm very bummed about Colm because Scott McDonald is going to also be there, who played Tosk, who we'll talk about a little bit more later, but Captive Pursuit, Tosk and O'Brien. I had gotten the photo. I was very excited. I couldn't wait. I've been waiting for it. And then Colm dropped out, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
way to go, O'Brien.
But,
my goodness. Even
there's also
the actress who played T'Lyn is also can't make it, right?
Gabrielle Ruiz, right? I believe she's pregnant.
Good work. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, traveling to Vegas probably isn't in the cards. I got to tell you, so I was at Star Trek Chicago this past November, And I was hanging out with the Fansets folks and the Cool Waters people, Cool Waters, who does her convention representation. And Gabrielle and I got to sit next to each other at dinner. And we were having deep dish pizza, which in Chicago, that's what you do, right? And I have to tell you, she is one of the most kind and delightful people. We had a great conversation. She's hilarious, just being herself. And it's a bummer that she won't be there, but she's got certainly more important things to be concerned about, and good for her. So,
yeah,
Good for her. Yes.
It's funny. We talk about 200 people, and it'll probably be over 200 by next week. And it's amazing the amount of stuff that they pack into a short amount of time, and we never get to see it, buddy. I think I've told people the last time that we were in the main auditorium for any type of a panel was when Sir Patrick Stewart surprised everybody and showed up in Picard. That's the last time we were in the great room for
true.
For any of the panels. I mean, it's just, we're always so, we want to be in the vendors room to talk to people, and sometimes I wander off, but which is a thing. But we have a great time in there, and we don't get to see all of these 200 people on stage that we'd love to see. But I got to tell you, buddy, pretty excited about Friday night, which is going to be a big thing at STLV. We're finally bringing back the Fan Geeks party. And it's been a few years since we've been able to do that. And we're excited. The venue that we've got that Bill found is just incredible. Ready Player One?
Player One.
Player One. I'm thinking of the movie.
In the book. Yeah.
I'm a Player One.
I do the same thing every time. I'm like, okay, take out the ready. We're good.
So the thing that has really prevented us from having our annual party has been finding a venue. During the pandemic, the place we were using went out of business. Fortunately, they were not able to ride out the pandemic and the lack of business. So then after that, we tried a couple of places and they just didn't work. One just didn't take us seriously when we said we could pack the place with 300 hungry and thirsty Trekkies. And so they didn't staff accordingly. The next one was just way too small. But, when I was in Vegas earlier this year, I went to visit Player One. I said, well, maybe this place will work. And I walked in and it was like being transported into the 1980s, but also with a massive bar. If you don't drink, there are plenty of non-alcoholic options there, but the room is filled with playable arcade games from the 80s. They're all free to play once you get your ticket for Fan Geeks party. Nobody associated with Trek Geeks or Fansets gets any money from this party. It's all going to the venue. With your $15 plus tax ticket, you get 2 drink tickets. You get free to play access to every single video game they've got, including all of the video game consoles ever. You get the chance to win prizes from Fansets. It is the cheapest night you can spend in Vegas and still have one heck of a time.
Yeah.
Try to get an average drink at a hotel bar in Vegas. You're going to spend at least $15, if not more. With this, you get 2 drink tickets. They've got a variety of craft beers. They've got other mixed drinks. It's for once, it's going to be a fantastic time because Dan is going to be there, hopefully occupied and not saying a whole lot. But the other thing is we have a special guest, DJ Live Long and Party, Ashley from We Are Starfleet, the podcast on the Trek Geeks Network. She'll be running trivia and spinning tunes for us during the whole party. So it's going to be an amazing time. We hope everyone will join us. It's fangeeksparty.eventbrite.com. Tickets are still available. Like I said, only $15 plus tax per. But Dan, it's long overdue for this party. It's what we used to look forward to every single year.
It was so disappointing the couple of years that we weren't able to do it. We tried like crazy. I mean, it was one thing. Bill mentioned it. There was one venue that we went to that was just a joke. They didn't think we were serious. They didn't staff accordingly. They booked somebody to sing the same night also, which was just ridiculous. It was a cluster F, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, we also did another one, which was a great venue, but it was just too small for the amount of people that we have. So this is going to be great. It's going to be tons of space, tons of drinks, lots of fun, prizes. And I do think they're going to have some small eats. There's some small things they have available to eat. I can't remember. I'll have to pull up their menu.
Yeah, there will be some finger food type things there, I believe, snackable type things. If you want a more hearty meal, I recommend eating before the party or maybe afterwards, a late dinner, because Vegas is famous for that. And plus, you can get dinner just about anywhere in Vegas. But it guaranteed to be a good time. And plus, Dan, we normally give away a metric ton of Fansets pins.
We do.
I mean, it's unreal. I think we practically spend them into the poorhouse with this party. They bring, I'm serious. I mean, I think, and plus there's one giant prize at the end. It's usually their huge collectible for the year that somebody in the room will have a chance to win.
Yep.
So it's going to be a heck of a time. Jesse, we hope you're able to join us. We hope everyone that's watching is able to join us, because it's just going to be a fun time.
I mean, I have my 17-year-old is going to be joining me on this trip to help me with the vendor table and all that stuff. So unfortunately, she's still underage to be joining me with these things. She will be turning 18, but still can't do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it works out, because we have a bar here in Boise called Space Bar, and it's the exact same layout with the old arcades and stuff. And if you've never been to a bar like that, it is so much fun to be able to just feel, like a teenager or middle schooler again, playing these old school games. I mean, I still have my N64 and, my GameCube still, they are, I mean, I had a Genesis, but that is a long story and it's painfully if I tell it, but yeah, they still have them there and it's so much fun. So yeah, definitely check that out. I do want to mention here in the chat, John does say, here's what I like about STLV. It's so much more relaxed than a normal con. The celebs are walking down the hall, just relaxed and friendly. I was one stall over from Michael Dorn a couple of years ago. And then, of course, Chuck says, check out my vendor table at STLV. Chuck A's Star Trek plates and toys, and also Jesse B's table and the transporter room table. We're all going to be like in that same area. Awesome. So absolutely. Awesome. But yeah. So
one of the other things. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, how long do we have to place to ourselves at player one? Question for you.
The party's 2 hours. So if anyone wants to stay after that, I'm sure that, they will be more than happy to accommodate us. You're not going to want to leave once you go in there, quite frankly. When I went in there, I went in with my dear friend, my found brother, Chris Mumfree, and my best friend of 40 plus years, Chris Hill. We were there in town to see the band Chicago playing at the Venetian. And we went in to check that out, and we were just blown away at how awesome it was. But since Chuck is in the chat, and we're talking about Chuck. Plates, I want to talk about the one I finally got that I've been wanting for decades, and it's this one. I used to see it advertised on TV Guide. I was like, oh, I want that plate, and finally,
Hamilton. I forget what company it was.
I forget. No, it's Ernst.
Okay.
But this was one of the first collector plates I ever saw advertised anywhere. And I used to have this cut out and taped to my bedroom door on the inside, as decoration. Now that I'm in my 50s, I said, you know what? I've always wanted that plate. So I finally found one on eBay for a halfway decent price. And I'm so psyched that I finally got it. So I'm sure Chuck will appreciate that. But this was the first one I can ever remember seeing. And so now, since Spock is probably my favorite overall character, I don't want to telegraph anything for later, but this is probably now one of my prized possessions.
That's great. It's funny, Jesse, John mentioned about how relaxed it is and how normal it is. One of the things I have always appreciated about STLV, and I'm going to say this for people who may not have been there before, because we get this question a lot. People have social anxiety and they're nervous about being around people. One of the things that we tell them is this place is a great place to be if you are a Trek fan and suffer from some of those conditions from time to time. Because when you go to STLV and you walk into the Rio, you are surrounded by 10,000 family members who are going to treat you wonderfully, and they're going to make you like being there and show you what a great time this convention can be. So keep that in mind for anybody who might be a little concerned about crowds, because it's going to be crowded. 60th anniversary, it's going to be a lot of people there.
I'm one of those people myself. I deal with some social anxiety and stuff like that. And you're right, Dan, it's an incredibly welcoming atmosphere. For as busy as it will be being an anniversary year and all of those things, you almost wouldn't know it in a sense, because you can still plug along and do whatever you want to do and not be impacted by anybody else. And everybody there is that respectful and that kind and that cheerful. You're going to meet people who love the thing the way you love the thing, and who have come from somewhere, to spend their vacation time or whatever to go to this convention and meet other fans. So if you're okay with that kind of experience, take advantage of it, because you're probably going to make a brand new friend, as I have over the years. And now this is the family reunion that I get to see every year of all these people. So I look forward to it more than anything else. The years we didn't have it because of COVID, I'm not kidding, I was genuinely depressed.
Yeah, it was
because
awful.
I didn't have that connection, that touchstone to my friends and the fan base. So I make the most of this every year, and I know Dan does too. And Jesse, I'm sure that you have your own experiences. Was last year your first one?
This is going to be number 4.
No, I'm sorry. All right, cool.
Excellent.
So
last year was your first as a vendor?
First as a vendor. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My very first STLV was 2022 when it was
Gotcha.
at Bally's.
Oh,
And it was
sorry.
Larry Nemec. I know. Larry Nemechek. Hilarious. I was waiting in line for Jonathan Frakes because my daughter wanted to have an autograph. And I'm like this close to his table. So I'm like, hi, Larry. Nice to meet you. I'm a new Trekkie, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, come back next year. He's like, just trust me. And I was like, okay. So I literally told my husband, I was like, so Larry Nemechek said we have to come back. So I don't know what to do about that. But we do, and it was 2023, and it was at the Rio. He just said it was much better. It is. It's a much better layout. Rio has it perfectly. Yes. And so Bally's was not great. But the thing was, it was just a great experience. I've done conventions before, and what I love about like this one, and I've also done Xena conventions, is that when it's just one theme, you're surrounded by people who just love that particular thing. And so, and like you said, it's like a family reunion. You want to go back. It's like once you start, it's like, all right, see you next year. Bye. You know, I didn't get to make it to 2024, but I was like, I'm totally going to make it to 2025. And then, of course, I wanted to be a vendor, and I'm doing it again. And again, it's just so much fun to talk to people about Trek. It's so much fun to talk to other people who love Beverly Crusher. And one of the things that I decided to do this year, so if anyone, obviously, if you're a Beverly Crusher fan, hit my table. If you are wearing a cosplay, I'm going to be giving away these certified Beverly fan card-carrying members.
Nice.
Okay. Now, if you're not wearing a cosplay, okay, you just have to answer one question, and it is an easy question. It's not like the Beverly Trivia that I put these two gentlemen through, which they did win. Okay, they are the champions. However,
because of me.
One simple question, because Dan got half the point, and then Bill got the one, and they just stole it right from there. But if you're able to answer that one question, you'll be able to take this home with you. Super excited. It does say, an official card-carrying member of the Bev Heads, you recognize Beverly Crusher's greatness, and you're prepared to enter the debate at warp speed to defend her honor. So definitely excited to be giving out that. And also I'm going to be selling some bags, posters, and stickers.
Nice.
So really excited about that. And yeah, you know, Gates is going to be there, and I'm hoping to talk to Sirach Lofton, because I'm giving him one of these. He loves Beverly Crusher. He earned this. All right. He just finished The Next Generation. I'm so excited about that. But like these gentlemen said, STLV is just so much fun. There's so much to do. And yeah, it's so great when you're walking the halls or getting a Starbucks. You know, I always do it with Dave Blass. We were just chatting it up, and the Yakutas and stuff. We're waiting in line at the buffet or whatever. But, or even just going in to have breakfast, and there's some Trekkies in their cosplay, and we're like, hey, live long and prosper, you know, and you just feel like you belong, you know, and that's what's so great about it.
If you want a free activity, because I mean, everything in Vegas can be so expensive sometimes, right? If you want a free activity, one of the coolest things you can do is watch Star Trek with other Trekkies, because if you haven't had the opportunity to do that, you're going to enjoy it in a way you never thought possible. So every night in the casino, in the masquerade area, they've got a different movie playing on a multitude of screens. Wednesday is Star Trek The Motion Picture, probably my personal favorite right now. Thursday is Star Trek For the Voyage Home, and it's the 40th anniversary of that this year. Wow. Friday is Star Trek First Contact. It's the 30th anniversary of that this year. Saturday is Star Trek Enterprise Broken Bow Parts 1 and 2. And by the way, 25th anniversary of Enterprise this year. So many anniversaries. And Sunday is not a Star Trek movie, but it is Galaxy Quest, which is damn good. So if you've never had the opportunity to sit amongst a bunch of Trek fans and watch a movie you've seen probably 100 times, I guarantee you it will be a fantastic experience and will be different than any other time you've watched it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. And also in the casino, they have the TV screens and they're playing a random episode of Star
Totally.
Trek. It's just absolutely amazing. But you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about those 60 years of Trek. And I gave out some categories, and we're going to talk about our favorites. And the first one that we will be talking about is favorite series. Now, you guys have the same answer.
We do.
And
Yes,
here
we
it
do.
is, Deep
That's it.
Space Nine. So talk about what is it about Deep Space Nine that you just love so much?
Yeah,
Do you want me to go first, Dan, or do you want to go first?
yeah, you go ahead first this time.
All right. I think in Deep Space Nine, I found a Star Trek that wasn't perfect. Don't get me wrong, I grew up on TOS. I love it. I started watching Next Gen the night of my 18th birthday when it premiered. I love it. But Deep Space Nine was different because it showed us there were shades of gray in the Star Trek universe. Not everything was perfect and pretty. And it took something to build this presence in the Alpha Quadrant. Plus, all of the characters start off really kind of fully formed. At that point, it had the best pilot of all of them. Cisco just the struggle he goes through, with the wormhole aliens and the whole, you exist here thing. It's the first time I've openly cried during a Star Trek episode because you felt his grief, but you also felt that he was anchored there in time because of it. For me, it just hits all of the right notes, Dan, and it still stays with me today because I think that while not a perfect Trek, it's almost as perfect as one can get.
I absolutely agree with everything you said. It is by far my favorite series. And this is going to sound kind of weird. I'm a horror movie fan. I'm a villain fan. It's a darker Star Trek. And I like that. I like the fact that there's unknowns. I like the fact that there's bad things happening. I absolutely loved until the movie Section 31. And I love the Dominion and the Dominion War. And one of the things that I love so much about Deep Space Nine is this was the first television series in history to have a multi-seasonal arc story. And it works. And of course, now they all do it. So you have to watch. They do it now, I think, for money making because you have to watch everything to know what's going on. You can't just jump into something. And I really like that. But on top of that, they had this cool ass captain coming in. And as soon as he went bald, he got even cooler. And the whole idea of Odo and the changelings, there is nothing about Deep Space Nine that, as I've grown older and appreciated more, that I dislike. And that's kind of hard to say about any type of show. Even the crappy episodes that aren't the best, I'll still like because it's the best series. The first tattoo I ever got on my body was a giant Star Trek Delta, the DS9 communicator with the Defiant inside, with the wormhole inside the Delta. It's just a show that has always resonated with me from the first time it was on. And there are other reasons why it's important to me, which we'll get into later, but it's just such a fun show. I love it.
Now, fun fact, my husband grew up with Star Trek The Next Generation, and that's all he saw. And so when I finally got into it, and I basically was like, hey, let's watch all the other Star Trek shows. And he finally saw Voyager and Deep Space Nine. He loved Deep Space Nine. He's like, oh my gosh, where has this been my whole life? I was like, I don't know. You chose not to watch it. But he just loved the concept, everything you guys have been saying. I enjoyed it in the sense of where they didn't rush story. So if they knew there was a story that really needed more time, they did those 2-parters, maybe even 3.
Right.
And all the different characters that we got out of is what made it so special. Now, John does say Deep Space Nine just hits different. It's serialized, and when the war happens, all the answers weren't wrapped up in nice little boxes. It was messy on a regular basis, and that Garrick is one of the best characters Star Trek has ever produced. Complex to the hilt.
Facts.
Now, I don't know if you guys could guess my favorite, but
Is it Dr. Pulaski?
I mean, you're partly correct. It is the next generation, and it's always it's because it's what got me into Star Trek. And of course, I always blame my husband. I say, sorry, husband, I stole your show. This is literally his favorite show of all time. He just said that the cast is perfect. The stories were great. Just the characters he just loved so much. He loved Data, so he's not a Pulaski fan. But I think there was just something different when it came to the next generation, something that I just never saw before that I absolutely adored. And what's hilarious is that it wasn't Beverly Crusher that got me into Next Generation. My husband was rewatching it because it was on Netflix at the time, and I decided to buy him the Blu-rays. And as he's rewatching it, it kind of caught my eye. And what caught my eye was O'Brien and Data.
Oh, interesting.
And it was because they just had Data just being that very logical and just android self saying, one-liners here and there. But O'Brien had a lot of one-liners where I would be walking to the kitchen, he'll say something, I'll be like, oh, that was kind of funny. I don't, what's going on over there? My husband's like, I want you to, let's watch together. And sure enough, I binged it in 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
That's
just at the time I was a laundry attendant. I just slapped on those AirPods, I'm watching as I'm folding 200 pieces of laundry. I'm hearing it in the car. I was like, I want to know the next story. And then I saw all 4 movies in one day. And then I was like, all right, let's watch again. It's one of those comfort shows for me. And so, because it was my intro to Trek, it's just, something special in my heart. And of course, Chuck says Dr. Crusher was missed in season 2 of TNG. Absolutely. One of the things is too, though, is that my husband, he was 5 years old at the time when Pulaski was in season 2. And he said it was horrible. He was so sad. He was like, where's Dr. Crusher? Well, season 3 premiered on his 6th birthday. And he's like, that was the best birthday present a little boy could ask for. Is that Dr. Crusher returned and not the Data hater, because he was just like, she hates Data. I don't like her. Yeah.
Dan, I just want to point out that would have been the fall of 1989 when we turned 20.
20.
Yeah.
20. 5.
Okay, my husband's 43. All right, for
you youngsters, you young whippersnappers.
I just turned 41, so yes, I was 2 when TNG came out, but at least I was at least it wasn't years.
Are we allowed to use colorful metaphors on the show?
Absolutely.
Fuck me. Dan and I both turned 57 this year.
Yes.
Beautiful. Love it.
I mean, we look 20, but we're not.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, you do.
I probably look a little younger because Dan, you actually used to have hair back then.
Yes. And now
I've got some gray creeping into mine on the sides. You can see it here, kind of on the temples. There's some gray there. Kind of got that Buck Rogers thing going on with Gil Gerard. But what can I say?
Rose says I would have been 6 when 1988.
Ross, you're fired.
Oh my God.
Chuck says I said hello to Gates at Jesse's vendor table. Here, yes, Gates stopped by because she was walking around looking for someone, and she stopped by, and Chuck was all like, "Hi, it's really nice to meet you." Because, as you guys said earlier, you don't really get to enjoy all the stuff that's going on when you're a vendor.
Right.
And so he was very excited. But Chuck will be 69 in September. You go, Chuck.
Go, Chuck.
Look at you. You will love it. Love it. All right. So the next question that I had for you guys was, of course, favorite character. Now, Bill, I'm going to go, pass the mic to you. And, there shouldn't be much of a shocker as you showed our plate. That was a little spoiler. But it is Spock. So explain to everyone why you love him.
I think it's not just Spock, but I think it's also specifically Leonard as Spock. There's a comforting thing about his portrayal of that character. Spock of TOS was kind of like the the logical center of that show. Whereas humans were venturing out into the galaxy and exploring, Spock kind of kept them all grounded. And let's just be honest, Leonard's portrayal of Spock is something that, you know, should have earned him an Emmy. I mean, he did get nominations, but he should have received an award for it because he's just brilliant as Spock. I think that his character is the heart and soul of Star Trek. It's everything that Star Trek is about. You know, what it means to be human, because Spock was always fighting that sort of human half. And at times it would win, you know, at times our human half wins out, right? So it's a great case study in what it means to be human. It's a great case study in what it means to, you know, explore new avenues about yourself and about humanity. And well, I mean, let's face it, in the 70s, Spock was pretty badass, right? So I came into Star Trek fandom at the right time with the right character, and he's just always been with me. I mean, I've got at least 3 Spocks behind me. There's one that's fallen down. It's a mini cardboard stand-up from Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, where he's holding the video cassette. It fell down behind my bookcase, but Spock is always a part of my fandom, and how could he not be?
Well, I mean, I think he's, to me, like the face of Star Trek, right? The live long and prosper, the IDIC, you know, we all do the Vulcan salute. Like, he definitely represents what Star Trek is.
I think that's a perfect way to put it, Jesse, because if you go to somebody and say, what's the first thing you think of when you think of Star Trek? Nobody's going to say Kirk first.
Nope.
Everybody's going to say something like that, or Spock, or live long and prosper. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Dan, you have, of course, your love of Deep Space Nine. You have Odo, so let's talk about that.
I love this character so freaking much. I love the look. I love Renee's portrayal of him. He's grumpy. He's cantankerous.
He's like you.
I love that about him because it's just like me. Yes, thank you.
Kindred spirits.
You stole my thunder. No, I just love him. I love all the stuff that he goes through in the 7 seasons we watch him too. He used to work for the Cardassians. Now he's the constable and the sheriff of the station, and finding out that his people are out there and that they sent him away, and all of the things, and falling in love with Kira and the romance thing. But anyway, I just love the character. I love what Renee did with it. I love the trauma, everything. I just absolutely love. You can't help but feel bad for him because of the things that happen. And when he says goodbye to Kira in the final episode, in his tuxedo and sinks into the Great Link, I just love stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, somebody asked a question, who would you want to hang out with more than anyone on Star Trek? And I picked Odo because he doesn't want to hang out with anybody, which makes me want to hang out with him. So yes, he would become my best friend if I was on the station with him.
I love Odo just had such a presence in Deep Space Nine, right? Like, you know, he was kind of like that grumpy, you know, neighbor, get off my lawn kind of mentality, right? Yep. But like I was talking about 7 of 9, where like her arc, you know, went through so much. So did Odo in just 7 years, you know.
But he wanted to look cranky and get off my lawn, but he did care.
He cared.
Just didn't show it very much. I just thought it was great. And of course, his relationship with Quark is second to none.
For those of you who maybe have not experienced Trek Geeks yet, Dan does fantastic impersonations. And one of the ones he does is Odo from Take Me Out to the Holosuite. And the first time I really experienced it as it should be, we were at Northeast Trek Con in Albany, New York, and we shared a hotel room at that point. We're watching the Red Sox in the World Series. I think it was the World Series, wasn't it? Or the playoffs at least?
It was it was the World Series, Los Angeles Dodgers,
Yeah. And all of a sudden, Dan starts belting out this Odo quote as we prepare to watch this episode. And Dan, would you please regale us with that particular
I got to pull it up to say. I haven't said it in so long I would get it wrong unless I pull up
this
the
is such bullshit.
Wording. So
this is such
if you want to just ramble, I'll pull it up. Yes.
Oh, I can do that all day long. So by the way, we're here to celebrate Crusher Convo's 4th anniversary. Jesse, we're so proud of you and everything you've built with Crusher Convo. It was an easy decision for us to welcome you to the Trek Geeks Network. Trek Geeks is about passion. Trek Geeks is about love of Star Trek. And I can't think of another podcast that puts that on display so openly as yours. So we are excited to have you as a part of our family. If we haven't said it yet, we should have. But it's a joy for us to have you as part of Trek Geeks, and we hope you're with us for a very, very long time, quite frankly.
Well, I really appreciate it. I was very shocked when you guys asked me. I think my first words to you were like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I think they were. I think
I was all like, what? Huh? Sorry, Mom. Every time I curse, I have to say sorry, Mom, because she's like, now. And I'm like, okay.
Now,
sorry.
Jesse.
Now, Jesse. John does say Garrick and Quark are my two go-to characters. I ponder others, take a look at the other characters, but I keep coming back to these two. Honorable mention is La'an in Strange New Worlds. Ross says Badgie, not. But seriously, my favorite is probably Nog because of his real growth from episode 1 to the final episode. Absolutely. Sure. And of course, John says, great choice. I don't know if any Star Trek character came as far as he did over the length of the series, for sure. Now, I had to showcase the reason why I felt, because everyone knows, guys, my character is Beverly Crusher. Okay, we're just gonna we're just gonna put that out there. Okay, but there was one particular moment.
What?
Yeah, there was one particular moment though that I was like, I like her, and it was this one.
About what?
About how you feel serving with the man who is responsible for the death of your husband.
My personal feelings about Captain Picard are irrelevant to this investigation, and none of your business.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, yeah, because when he said that to her, I was like, oh my gosh, how dare he? And then her answer was just chef's kiss. And I was like, all right, I'm in love with Beverly Crusher. That's it. I'm done. No one can top this.
That pause she takes is just perfection before she speaks.
Right? I mean, it was just so good. But yes, I mean, I don't think I have to talk about why I love Beverly Crusher. I have a podcast about her. But one of you're like, oh, this all makes sense now.
Oh, that's what that's about.
But the one thing I always do tell is that I was a single mom, and seeing a single mom with a career doing badass things on that show, that is the number one reason that I was like, that's my girl. That's it right there. And of course, I always talk about how much I just feel like she has like the best qualities that represent Trek in a lot of ways. Yeah, and so I definitely, I love it. I absolutely love this character. Chuck says, Jesse is so awesome. Your channel is great. Thanks, Chuck.
He is not wrong.
He's not wrong. Dan, are you ready?
I am ready. And
Go for it.
Say that no player shall at any time make contact with the Empire in any manner. The prescribed penalty for the violation is immediate ejection from the game. Rule number 4.06, subsection A, paragraph 4. Look it up, but do it in the stands. You're gone.
Now imagine that as I'm trying to sleep.
Hold on,
I haven't done it in a while. It wasn't the greatest Renee impersonation, but I just love that quote. I used to know it by heart, but I haven't seen it.
It's better after you get a couple of drinks in you, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, the third favorite that I asked about you guys, I think, was it Bill, you said, or no, Dan, you said you love the horror, you love the villains, you love all that stuff. And of course, I love a good villain myself. It is favorite villain. All right, Bill. So here we go. We got Khan.
Ricardo Montalban just puts on a performance. That's really what it is. Whether it's Space Seed or whether it's Wrath of Khan, he just commands every scene he's in. And he's so memorable. I mean, I remember seeing this in the theater in 1982, and I was 12 at the time. And I was transfixed. At that point, I hadn't seen Space Seed, right? Because, Star Trek was in syndication. You were lucky if you got to see all the episodes because they didn't show them in order. And I hadn't yet seen it. And it spoke to me. I mean, I've tried to treat Dan like Khan just about every interaction we've ever had.
He does too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Good pick, man. Good pick.
Now,
Thanks.
Khan is a great character. It's funny because even though I didn't really grow up with Star Trek, I knew who Khan was, and just like I would know who Spock is. So he was definitely one of those memorable characters that really just sticks with everybody. But Dan, I think there's a theme here going. I'm just saying.
It's funny after I sent you it, I'm like, oh shit, it's all Deep Space Nine. That people are not going to like that, but that just shows you how much I love Deep Space Nine. Gul Dukat, it is the easiest choice for a question asked of me is who's your favorite villain in Star Trek? Because he is by far, there's nobody that's even close to him for me. 2 words, Mark Alimo. Absolutely fantastic in this role. This character is so twisted. He's such a megalomaniac. He thinks he's doing everything right. It's so Shakespearean. He is so psychopath. And then everything that happens with him and the power rates. And of course, that one episode that I'm not even going to say anything.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
A duet, the whole episode with him and Cisco in the cave where he just finally loses his cheese off his cracker. It's awesome. I love Gul Dukat. The only thing I don't love about Gul Dukat is how he died. I thought that was kind of I didn't really care for it.
Loses his cheese off his cracker?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good analogy. That I understood it.
Thank you, Jesse.
The Gul Dukat is a character that you just love to hate.
I've known him for 30 years. He's never used that comparison before. So
he's still making you surprises, right? Every day.
Yeah.
Like he's keeping you on your toes. For sure.
Absolutely.
I did want to mention here, Ross says villain. I'd have to say it's Trek King Dan.
Not wrong, is he, Bill?
Not wrong at all.
Is he, Bill?
In fact, we will be starting Trek Geeks Thursday Night Geeks at the top of the hour, so I may have to slip out and get ready for that while Dan finishes here on Crusher Convo. So
we'll try to get through it real fast. Now, real quick though. Okay,
interesting.
I picked Tomalak. He's only been in I think, what was it, 4 total? Because they did show him at the very end in All Good Things. I feel like he was a character that definitely showcased just exactly what a Romulan was, right?
Yeah.
Just that conniving, emotional, trickster. I think the episode, was it Deflector?
Deflector, yep.
Yes. And just how he planned all this, and I wanted more. And I was so upset that we didn't get more. I mean, we did get him, a little bit in that episode where Future Imperfect, but it was just the mind of a little boy be like, we'll just pick this guy. I feel like he was underused. I really think that, we could have seen more of Tomalak. I'm glad that they did show him at the end at All Good Things. And he had that little moment where he's like, and no one knows about this? I like this. Like that was just this one little moment with Picard where he's like, all right, I feel you. I get you now, but definitely a character I wish we got to see. But the big one here, I did want to ask about favorite moments. And so, Bill, we're going to start with yours. You said Kirk and Scotty with the Enterprise in the motion picture. So I'm going to go ahead and play that clip real fast right now.
That's right, Captain. 2.5 years as Chief of Starfleet Operations may have made me a little stale, but I wouldn't exactly consider myself untried. They gave her back to me, Scotty.
Gave her back, sir? I doubt it was that easy with Nagura.
You're right.
Well, any man who could manage such a feat, I would not dare disappoint.
I'm sitting there lip syncing the whole thing the whole time.
Yes. Now, I don't want Paramount coming after me. I'm only doing 30-second clips, but
But
let me know.
Yeah, because if you did the whole thing, that would be like 12 minutes or whatever it is.
A long time. And 7 of those minutes is just the Enterprise, right?
Starship porn. I love the whole thing because, you see Kirk look at the Enterprise through these new eyes. Not only does it look like a different ship, but it's recalling so many things for him. And it's a great reintroduction to the Enterprise for fandom because at this point, it's been 10 years since we've seen the Enterprise. It tugs at my heartstrings every single time. The Enterprise was my boyhood ship of dreams, and what a great way to get reintroduced to it.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Now, again, there's a theme going on with you, Dan.
This one's an important and serious one, though.
This is an important one, though. This is Captive Pursuit. So here's a clip from that.
I cannot hide here behind the protection of your Federation. It is against everything I believe.
You'd rather go back and live in a cage on public display?
To stay would be a greater dishonor. I am Tosk, the hunted. I live to outwit the hunters for another day. To survive until I die with honor.
All right, let's discuss Captive Pursuit.
Yeah, this might take a couple minutes. Bill, are you going to jump off?
I'm going to jump off to go get ready for Thursday
right.
Night Geeks. I'll see you both there.
We'll be right
Thanks
over.
to everybody in chat. I'll join us over on Trek Geeks.
Absolutely.
See you in a few minutes.
All right.
Yes. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
So, yeah, Jesse. So, for those who have not watched or listened to any of the Trek Geeks podcasts, there's a reason why Captive Pursuit is my favorite Star Trek moment. Is because if that episode was not on television one night in late 1999, I would not be alive right now, because I was ready to commit suicide one night. And when I had the gun literally in my mouth, ready to pull the trigger, I happened to have a cassette tape playing, and that episode and almost that scene where he talks about hiding behind the Federation was on my TV, and it made me stop. So Star Trek literally saved my life. I'm one of the people that is proud to say that. I, of course, loved Star Trek before that, but now it just has more meaning. And that episode, of course, it will always be the most important part of Star Trek to me for that very reason. I've had the opportunity to talk to both Colm and Scott about it, which was phenomenal to be able to do so. That's why I was talking earlier about how I was so excited to get a picture with the two of them, and now I'm not going to.
Gosh dang it. Darn meanie being, so busy. But I love that story. I mean, I've heard it so much, even when I started this podcast. So many people are like, Beverly Crusher saved my life, or she was the mom I never had, or, I was in foster care and this is what felt like a family to me. Everything has such a meaning. Now, I have attempted, I was 13 at the time, but Xena was my inspiration to put the knife down. Okay. Yep. And so it's amazing how these characters and these TV shows can represent so much, and you feel something with it. Yes, right. Absolutely. A little weird that I was near the perfect scene there, because I was just going through. I was like, this is a good scene.
I'm glad I wasn't on screen when that showed it, because when you showed that, I started getting I started freaking out.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. That's insane, because no one told me. He didn't tell me what to kill. I clipped it myself. This was all me there. That's amazing. Now, going from something so important, I'm going to something so funny. Okay. My favorite moment is not that serious, but this was a moment that I think really catapulted my love for the Next Generation, as I mentioned, because of Data. And I don't know, guys, this is just hilarious.
Known even in the Klingon Empire. You are familiar with the Bahat Kul challenge?
I am familiar with many Klingon rituals, including the Bahat Kul.
Wow. Cha. Wait. More talk.
Fred's little head tilt, and he goes back. I died so hard in that. I laughed so hard, and it's one of those moments that I just carry with me. So no, it is not a Beverly Crusher moment, but it is a Data moment. And there's just a lot of them. So yeah, so I know we're going to be heading over to your guys' channel. So I'm going to go. Yeah, so I'm going to just jump right into my penny for your thoughts.
Penny for your thoughts.
Now, of course, whoops, I got the wrong border. There we go. We got Abby from First Flight Podcast. It embodies hope and positive future. Not that it's easy, but that it's possible. Also, that Trek encourages curiosity, science, and collaboration. All things we need more of. Plus, I found my tribe with the fan community, just like we were talking about at STLV. You find your tribe, right, guys? Now, Chris from First Flight Podcast, there's, a theme going on here. Star Trek is a storytelling structure that explores the human condition through science fiction conceits ethical dilemmas and character-driven drama. It explores the possibility of the human being stretching out into the future as one people. And of course, Rebecca from Threads, she's been on my pod before, and she's a Beverly Crusher fan. Star Trek has been there for me when I needed a friend, a mom, a dad, siblings. It's given me friends who I never would have met otherwise. Every new series brings me joy, and watching the older ones brings me comfort, especially TNG and Beverly-centric episodes.
By tricorder.
All right, so the tricorder rating, if I see, this is where I need that fancy little thing that Bill has. Tricorder rating. I asked what people's favorite show was. I got 10 votes total. 50% said The Next Generation, 30% Deep Space Nine, 10% Voyager, and Lower Decks. Now, it's not really surprising. People go back and forth.
No.
It's either The Next Generation or Deep Space Nine for different reasons.
Yeah, that's what I found. I've also found over the course of the last maybe 5 to 10 years, more people are picking Enterprise more now. I've seen, because I think with it being available and the big anniversaries coming up and people binge watching it, I think they have a greater appreciation for it than they did back then.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Redhead Alert. Now, my next episode of Crusher Convo will be on September 4th, and it is all about the Delta Quadrant with Voyager's Collective. No guest yet, but definitely come back and check us out live, and let's crush the conversation together. And guys, don't forget about my giveaway. Once I reach 1,000 followers on Instagram and 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'll be giving away an autograph of photo from Gates McFadden to one lucky listener. If you're enjoying my content, please help spread the word by sharing it with your friends. Every share brings me one step closer to reaching my goal. And of course, you can send a penny for your thoughts by sending me a 60 to 90 second audio clip at crusherconvo.com, or you can email me your thoughts at crusherconvo@gmail.com, and I may feature your penny and share it live on the show. And last but not least, I have my Patreon shout-outs who go to Leslie, Dave, Grayson, and Elisa, who are my Commander patrons, and Chuck, Engineer Mark, and Johannesburg, who are my Admiral patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast and enjoy exclusive extra content, just head over to patreon.com/Crusher Convo, and you can sign up for as low as $3 a month. All right, so real fast, thank you. Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Bill, for joining me. Please let them know where they could find you.
Oh, absolutely. Just head on over to trekgeeks.com. You can get our YouTube channel, youtube.com/trekgeeks, where we will be heading over to in just a moment for our Thursday Night Geeks. Every other Thursday is what we usually like to do. We'll be doing live stuff. Tonight, we're going to be talking about STLV and a couple little surprises we have planned. So yeah, check us out. Come on over and have some fun. And you can also check us out over at Patreon as well, patreon.com/trekgeeks.
Absolutely. And I'll be joining you over there at your, Trek Geeks Live Thursday. And as always, thanks to everyone in the chat. Had so much fun. Really appreciate it. Thank you for a wonderful 4 years. And here's to another 60 when it comes to Star Trek. And as always, guys, live long and prosper. Bye.
Crusher out.